Hello, Boston. The world's greatest Montreal Canadiens fan on stage here from Canada. Hello. Please don't reflect that in your review of the panel afterward. I'm just kidding. I am a Habs fan, but I also love Boston because we are like classic rivals, and Boston is one of the best cities in the US, and I've seen every state except for South Dakota. So, which I have to go see still, because then I can say that I've conquered the US. So here we are at Design a Board Game Live, and we're gonna get right into the guts of it, but before we do that, I just wanna find out how many of you have been to one of these panels at any of our previous PAXs that we've done before, including last year? Oh, we got some veterans in the battlefield. Thank you for returning, your validation that what we're doing is good. And therefore, for the rest of you, how many are here to see us? Don't worry, we're not offended. We're not offended. We're not offended because we know we have a special guest here at our panel, which, by the way, we usually have a rhythm, and this amazing gentleman is gonna take this away from us. Sun Wong, how many of you are here to see him? Well, I gotta say something. So,
I'm sorry, guys. I did not mean to overshadow everything, but I'm happy to be here. I'm very passionate about board games, and I cannot wait to help you guys design one live. Does anyone have a guess as to how many games I have played in my life? Do you guys have a guess?
You can yell it out.
Are we talking board or video?
50. I heard 50.
They heard 50? 50, that's cute. What do you think?
Different games?
Different board games, yes.
Board games, I'm gonna go about 300.
That's cute, let's go up.
Okay.
I'd be very curious if you actually have played more games than Dylan here.
How many have you played?
I really can't count that high because every BGG I play about 50 to 60 new ones every year.
Ooh, okay.
And I've been going for 6 years.
So what's a rough estimate then?
I am over 1,000, so I'd say probably at about 1,200.
I'm also over 1,000. But I am at about 1,100 at this point. So catching up to you.
I guess I'll have to keep playing games.
I am also gonna have to keep playing games, yeah.
But here, so have you played this one? Grand Blue Fantasy?
That is Grand Blue Fantasy, correct?
Yeah, but Japanime, it's called Japanime Tactics from Japanime Games and Lynnvander Studios, which is us. We designed the game. It's the first time the world gets to see this game, really.
So this is the world premiere of this game?
Yes.
Well, this is the production sample copy, and the game will come soon enough. Those details,
shit.
I have no authority.
Anybody here play Grand Blue Fantasy? Yeah!
It's not super popular here yet.
Yeah. The fighting game Grand Blue Fantasy Versus I actually do a voice for. So,
that's right.
Yeah, check it out. You don't know when this is coming out yet-ish?
Sometime soon. We'll just
Sometime soon, but yeah, I mean, when I saw it, you guys, I was like, oh shit, like that's a big deal. So yeah, I'm excited to check this out.
Sweet. All right, shall we get into designing a board game? I know we only have 1 hour or less with all the questions and party time. So the way this panel is going to break down. First off, we're Lynnvander Studios, far beneath and in the shadows of someone. But let's go through and tell you a bit of the stuff we've done. Lynnvander Studios is based out of Canada with some of our partners in the US. We are a design studio. And the next slide, please. These are some of the projects that we've come out with and or are just on the brink of coming out with. Mainly Pathfinder's Level 20 and Doctor Who's Don't Blink. Available at your local gaming stores right now. And as you can see, we've got a whole breadth of different types of games and stuff from different prices and sizes, licenses, and all that fun stuff, which you're going to learn a lot about while we design one with you today here. Now, up and coming stuff, Snapships Tactics. If you've toured the hull, you get to see these cool plastic pieces you can turn into spaceships and then kick each other's butt on. Minotaur, Gemini Gauntlet, and a role-playing supplement. And now, here's a bit of the ground rules on how we're gonna create and design here. Number one, Team Lynnvander, when we design our games, we like to say there's no such thing as a bad idea. It's kind of a stifle to a creative atmosphere, and we are an inclusive, creative, safe space atmosphere today in this room, always, but especially today in this room, where there are no bad ideas. So with that in mind, it can be a little nerve-wracking to give your suggestions, and we wanna hear from you. Those suggestions, don't be ashamed to say them, because when we say there's no bad idea, it means that there's only ideas that may not be correct for the certain situation in the design process, so we shelve it. Maybe it was a good idea for a previous design element, or it might just be something that isn't the correct fit, so we're gonna hold off on it. But always, always hold those ideas because you never know. Those ideas might be the ones that are the clincher that solve a problem in the design space down the road. We are a bit of an improv kind of crowd, so we like to do yes and mentality. So if I say like, we should do a game about bananas, and then Josh would say yes.
Oh, yeah, and maybe apples too.
Ooh, maybe apples too. Okay.
Oh, there we go, see? And we just keep building off the property until we come up with something that we all absolutely love. Next slide there brings us to designing a board game live panel. This is how we're gonna break it down with you guys, and then we're gonna get you involved. Whether it be screaming, clapping, hands up, coming up to the mic and giving us your suggestion, try and squeeze it all in the next 40 minutes and get someone's participation and his ideas, and he's gonna build upon it with you guys. So, we're gonna do game type, theme, mechanics, components, and then we're gonna come up with a title.
I will also point out, this is also how we actually design all of those games that you saw earlier. We literally go through this process, and we're just going to do a very accelerated version right here with you today.
I also want to point out in this case, we're not going to have a finished game magically appear when we finish the panel. That would be amazing.
We'll get there.
However, if you were to find this game on the shelf and read the back of the box, or describe this game to your friends and get them excited to play it, everything that we're going to come up with today is basically that pitch. So as soon as we finish this panel, we've got the blueprint for how you would describe that game, capsule summary to your friends, and get them excited to play it.
And I think we're going to wait for the end slide, but we got to tell you this now.
Wait, you mean I don't have to be writing the rule book this whole time?
I'm going to tell you this now. We've been doing this for a few years here, and finally, PAX has decided to work with us, and we are now licensed by PAX to this game will now be published after. It will be available, according to our timeline, we will be continuing this design session on Twitch afterward, and you'll see the schedule at the end, where you get to watch us develop it, and you get to participate continuously throughout the stream. And then we will develop and print this game with the PAX East branding, which will be available in the PAX store, will also be in your local gaming stores, and you can say you were there at the birth of
And
the very
everyone here shares royalties, right? No?
Actually,
We'll also tell you how small those royalties are.
actually, that's a very good point because we thought of this. That's chaos. But we are trying to work a way to make it so that way you don't have to pay absorbent amounts for the game as a regular consumer. But that is between you and us to connect, and so that we know who you are, because although I have a semi-eidetic memory, I cannot remember all your faces, especially just your eyes, which are all beautiful, by the way. Okay, let's begin. Game types. American versus Canadian.
So I think this is where I jump in, because the wonderful story is the fact that it is Lynnvander is a Canadian-based company, and before I joined the team, they only made cooperative games. And I'm the token American.
Yeah.
And now we make a lot of competitive games. I'll let you draw whatever conclusions you want from that. But seriously, though, when we first start looking at a game, one of the first things we want to decide, because it factors into every single other decision, is whether we're going to do a competitive game or whether we're going to do a cooperative game. And I realize that, then people are like, oh, but what about semi-co-ops and whatnot? What I want you to focus on, and we're going to actually leave this up to you, is whether or not in the end there is one winner or multiple people win. For right now, if multiple people win, we call that cooperative. If one person wins, we call that competitive.
One person or one team, because it could end up being a team design.
True. It could be a team
it's
versus
true.
team.
There's all kinds of ways that works
Do you
out.
have a favorite game so long? Like favorite type? Are you competitive or are you cooperative?
For me, I like all games, but competitive. I prefer competitive.
So you want to slit throats and go at it. And
I like being mean in games. I don't like being mean, in real life, but being playfully mean, I enjoy that. So I tend to be more competitive.
Just leveraging that cheese tasting strategy.
Exactly, yeah, the cheese tasting
yeah, I
phase,
just want
right?
to see how
yeah.
much you'll influence the crowd here. So let's start off light and easy before we start screaming and yelling, and go for a show of hands. Would you like this product game to be competitive?
Okay.
I see who has the influence in the room.
Yeah.
Or cooperative. Oh, man. Oh. I can see this is going to be a great crowd. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you guys think?
Did you count all those hands? Let's see. Well, I think what out of your guys' backlog of games you've designed, have you done more competitive or more cooperative?
It's probably half
We're
and half
about
now.
50-50.
You're not helping at all. Okay.
I'm sorry. Was I supposed to help?
I was gonna be like, what's one that you want to maybe try like a new type of thing, but
want the
just
audience
half and half. Great.
I do think there were more hands that were competitive.
I
Do you think so?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
All right, so ready one more time. Ready? Competitive. And cooperative. I'm sorry, as much as I would like to cooperate with you, I think the competition is clear and it is competitive.
Okay.
I always lose.
So I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm assuming if you're here, you probably own a board game. Yeah? Okay. Good. You have some idea of how big all the board games you own are, right? There are the small box games, the sort of medium box square footers, and then the honkin' huge game that takes up your entire shelf in your living room. We now get to decide how big a game we're gonna make and what kind of price point and box it's gonna fit in. And that's gonna determine a lot of what we can actually put in that box and how complicated we can make it. And how long it's gonna take to play. This factors into all kinds of stuff.
What
So
do we
this is a
think?
really important baseline to get right.
Well, so just for example, Josh, because everybody has different ideas, what would you consider the price points of a general light game, medium game, and heavy game?
So light games tend to be like your almost impulse purchase. It's like $15, $20, $25 probably, comes in a pretty small box.
Maybe 30 if it's got a lot of cardboard.
Yeah, if it's got a lot of cardboard. Medium box games are typically like your typical Ticket to Ride or Catan, like square footer box, costs.
Probably something like this, right?
Yeah, that's about right. That's a $40 game.
Right.
So yeah, most of those games are like in the $40 to $60 range, depending on how nice the pieces are in it, or if it's got a couple miniatures or whatever.
Okay.
Heavy game,
Like
I mean,
Gloomhaven.
I'm sure some of you have backed a Kickstarter before. A lot of Kickstarter games are very heavy on content.
Yeah.
Just a small bit.
Okay.
And there's disadvantages
And those
to
games
each of
can
these.
be $100. They can be several $100s. They just seem to keep getting bigger too. That's the other thing.
So what do you want to do? Let's see here. Let's see, show of hands, maybe some noise. What do you like for a light game? Easy, quick, impulse purchase, quick buy. Not as quick profit turnaround, right? How about a medium game? Do I even need to ask about a heavy game? Oh my God, like one hand that went like, and right back down again. I saw that. You were quick at the draw. All right, well, I think for the sake of time, we are doing a medium game that is competitive. Congratulations, you are on the exact point on the bell curve that all publishers want to be in. Well done, well done. Okay, theme.
Ooh, okay.
This is good.
How do you guys want to do this?
Well, there's
So-
all kinds of different themes.
As you have likely played in your games, all games have a theme. It may be very light, it may be very, like if you're going with, your abstract game, which is very strategic, we would still argue that that has a theme, but now your theme winds up becoming the mechanics itself. The theme becomes the strategy. Then there's the classic, what are frequently termed Ameritrash games that are really, really heavy on theme. There's 50,000 Cthulhu games out there these days, right? And so the theme can range wildly, and it can be anything that you want, and it can be something that is common, it can be something completely off the wall. But what is going to happen is that once we start getting into the mechanics, we're always going to want our mechanics to come back to our theme. And we're always going to want to think, does this work with the theme? The theme basically becomes your guiding light of what you want the game to feel like. It can be serious, it can be funny, it can be off the wall.
Be seriously funny.
Anything.
All right,
I'm also just going to throw it out there that I feel like internally we've got a little bit of a reputation for making things with interesting combos that haven't really been done before, or themes that you wouldn't expect to find in a board game necessarily when we do some of our original IP.
I was going to say last year, but we all know last year and the year before didn't really exist. But what was the last possible cool PAX year did we do? We did, was it Mutation, the Space Catastrophe?
Was that last year?
Was that one? Which,
We've done a whole bunch of them now.
was it, My Name is Bob and This is Our Truck? Well, we had a
was
bunch
pretty
of
good.
like crazy ass games.
So we don't
which is good.
want to like spoil it too much.
Yeah, yeah.
And a
Anything
theme-
really goes here.
And a theme can be one word, it can be a couple of words. It
Can be shirts.
anything you want.
Cloth, could be
Yep.
cows, it could be walls. It could be
So every Euro game that they've ever made? Yeah.
blood. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to run up and down, and I want to hear.
Euro game.
We're going to start
Right.
shouting themes. This is the part where we get to improv it, where we want to hear you say stuff. I'm going to run up and down in a second. Initiative taking. I like that theme. I'm going to go run down and listen to what you guys are screaming from the back of the room so I can get some suggestions back there. And these fine folks up here are going to copy some stuff down that they hear from the mid-crowd yelling. It's going to be pandemonium. So if you're afraid of loud noises, this is your chance to plug your ears. Okay.
Also, I do want to say one thing. You're wearing masks, so you need to talk louder than you think if you want us to hear you.
Oh, that's a cleaner, yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. All right, let's start. Fruit salad.
Dating sim, okay.
What? Wingspan. Ooh. Music. Music. Insects. Dinosaurs. Cabbage? Cabbage. What do you guys have? What?
Tax evasion. I heard that.
Alcohol. Duct tape? Let's go with duct tape. Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs again. Duct tape. Spaceships. Stuffed animals. You guys have swords? Swords. Hell yeah. Swords. Ghosts. Eclectic ghosts. Pyramid schemes. Pyramid schemes. I gotta get these guys. Food management. Fast paced. The daily life of a turtle. Ennui. Carnivorous cows. Cannibalism. Okay. I think we got some crazy ones here. Okay. You guys are.
You think we had enough suggestions, or? Okay.
Okay.
I feel
Now
like
what
you
we're
got
gonna
a
do.
little bit out.
Now what we're
Yeah.
gonna do. Thank you for those amazing suggestions. This is a great crowd. We're gonna read down some of these themes real quick. We're just gonna go through the ones that we captured, and then we're gonna create a short list, and then we're going to have some screaming and yelling and voting from you guys. All right?
Okay.
Well, we
So-
always remember different ones. So are there any that you heard that you remember?
I heard dating sim. I heard tax evasion. I think I heard duct tape, parachutes. Did you hear anything else?
Yeah, so I also heard dentists,
Okay, yeah.
fruit salad, ice picks, fishing,
Yeah.
and whales.
Did you hear any?
Oh, I heard a lot.
Okay, what'd you
I've
get?
been doing this a lot. So taking out the ones that have already been mentioned, I heard purple, time at PAX, taxidermy, specifically tuna fishing,
Ooh.
pair of shoes, flipping, ice creams, erosion, daily life of a turtle, ennui,
Ollie?
mysteries, and cannibalism.
Wow. Okay.
So the best part about it is that we don't actually have to just go with one. We can start playing around with them. Like I heard tax evasion and taxidermy. So it could be taxidermy evasion. Who knows, right? As an example. So we've done the themes now, and we've narrowed it down to what sounds like tax evasion. What sounds like we're gonna get down to a few short ones. And the best way we narrow them down is that as we're labeling them, we see people clapping and yelling, and the crowd kind of reacts. And so that gets us a bit of our short list. That's sort of our secret way of not telling you how we're going to give you a short list. What are the short lists that we put together based on what you guys saw or heard?
Sure. So our short list, so hold your applause for right now until you hear them all, because what we're going to do is that we're going to actually ask for, based on a noise vote, which one of these we want to go with.
Or which several, because we
Well,
might get some competitors.
What I was about to say is that we can easily do 1, 2 is often pretty good, but once you start to get 3, it starts to get very clouded. So what we're going to be really looking for is the top 2 once we actually have our list. So the ones that we have that seemed to get the most reaction were tax evasion. Hold on.
Wait.
I'm going to read them all, and then we'll do the noise vote.
You guys are great.
So tax evasion, duct tape, daily life of a turtle, dating sim, and ennui.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, now we're gonna do some noise. We'll start from the beginning, and you can vote for multiples, and we're gonna do our best to see what happens. All right, what's the first one?
Tax evasion.
Okay, I don't know if that one's on the contending list.
Okay.
Duct tape.
So I talked a mean game, and
Daily life of a turtle.
Wow. Wow, this is crazy.
Ennui. Dating sim.
Dating sim.
Now,
So, it seems like we're down to tax evasion, daily life of a turtle, and dating sim. However, I would argue that daily life of a turtle beats out the others based on noise.
what if we combined? What if it's a dating sim where all of the characters are turtles, but you're going on the dates for tax evasion purposes?
Okay, well.
Ladies and gentlemen and other thems, we have a theme.
Was that fun? Okay, the next slide is game mechanics. Now we got the theme down, now we get to do the development part, the harder stuff, as we like to call it, where we really need to dig into the nitty and gritty of what types of game mechanics are out there. So, we have those who on the team who are much more adept at game mechanics than I, Mr. Josh here, Mr. Dylan, and someone Joe, so you guys can go through the lists.
So, with game mechanics, so I know how I said with theme, we're very flexible. We can fit 2, maybe 3. Obviously, we can fit in 3 very well. With the game mechanics, you very, very much do want to make sure that you focus on just a couple, maybe 3. And the reason why is that you can have all of the best mechanics in the game, but if you throw that all into the game just becomes too clouded and it's too hard to explain and too hard to get people into. There are lots of games out there that have some really clever things that they do, but they do too much. And so it's hard to get in. We want to create a game that people can get into, that you can introduce to your friends, have them sit down and start playing hopefully as easily as possible. So we're really going to want to focus on what our top 2, maybe 3 mechanics are. Right now, don't worry about how it fits into the theme of the game. That's what we're going to work on later. But right now we're like, oh, we want to include this, we want to include that. We're going to have a slide in just a moment with listing a bunch of mechanics, but do either of you have any favorite mechanics you'd like to bring up? I'm curious if they're on our list.
I like deck building games a lot. That's one. How about you? Do you have one offhand?
oh, that's tough. I think a style that I've not seen a lot of would be like a you split, I choose.
What's that?
Oh, okay.
So this is kind of a rare one. If you've ever played like Zularetto or something like that, where one player makes a set of decisions for the other player to then take the one they want.
You ever play Hanami Koji?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, where it's like, oh, put 2 piles, you pick one, I get the other. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Azul is almost like this too,
Yeah,
except
yeah,
that
yeah.
there's multiple piles.
Okay, interesting. I also like, there's like classic worker placement that can be fun. I'm saying in general. I'm not saying for this game
no,
in particular. How about you? Any that you are a big fan of?
So probably 2 of my favorite ones lately are worker placement and bag builder. I've really enjoyed bag builders
bag building,
lately. which if you're not familiar are similar to deck builders, but they have some slight differences because you put tokens in a bag and you draw them out. Quacks of Quindenberg is a really popular one. Personally, one of my favorite games is Orleans, which is another bag builder game. So those are some of the mechanics that I really, really like.
I just played yesterday a really light version, but Blitzkrieg, you ever play that one?
Yep.
Oh my God, Blitzkrieg is so good.
That was really good. So, yeah, like, I agree to be on this panel because I love board games. I played 5 new board games last night, so I'm just like going and going and going, you know.
I feel like you and I should talk after.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
so
next slide.
should we get to the shouting out, or should we just?
No, we want to go to the next slide first.
Yeah,
there
we
we
want to
go.
look at some other options here. Just so.
Here are
Nice
some
memory refresh.
sample mechanics. If you have played board games and you're familiar with mechanics, or even if you're not and you can just think of an idea of how something would work, feel free to share it. I think that with this one, because of the size, shouting out is not going to work as well.
Okay.
So we'll probably have to do hands and have you run around. Or
We could also have people line up and we could take the first few that we get.
Something like
so there's a
that.
microphone in the middle here. If you'd like to come on up and stand at the mic and give us your suggestion, we'll try and get as many in as possible. But due to time constraints, we're going to have to be as polite as possible. And it's Canadian in me. And take the, right there, right in the middle. All right. So one at a time, give us one of your mechanic ideas, and we'll scoop them up until we get a good handful. Of course, crowd, if you hear something that really hits home, let us know. Hello.
Hi there. I'd love to do like a hidden trader or like a hidden roll, I guess.
Hidden trade route, okay. Right.
No,
Hidden trade?
trader, like a trader.
Oh, hidden trader. Oh,
Yeah.
like as a hidden roll.
Like maybe a predator if it's a turtle dating
Yes,
sim.
yes. Very
Right?
good. Hidden trader. Next up.
Yeah, I'd really like to see games with reversible cards. One side could be tax deduction, the other side could be a gift for the turtles.
Reversible cards. I like it. Good use of the paper.
I feel like betting and wagering would probably work well with this because, let's be honest, doing your taxes is always a gamble.
See, I like push your luck dice games, and so therefore doing your taxes for me is always about pushing your luck.
So I'm thinking about a reverse engine building, so you build an engine, but only other people can use it.
Ooh, interesting.
Hi, I'd like to see collecting set pieces of different fashion items you can equip on your shell to attract the other turtles.
Ah, nice.
I like the idea of a hidden role game where someone is like the tax collector and everyone else is potential romantic partners.
Who's the hidden tax collector? Nice. Hidden tax collector. All right.
I think a good mechanic would be managing between environment, money, and affection with the turtle. Can't get more money without destroying the environment. Destroy the environment too much, they're not going to like it.
So like an elastic kind of resource stretcher. Yeah, that's great. All right, we'll try and get about 6 or 7 more in here.
I'm going to guess this would fall under dexterity. I'm thinking something to do with quick time events. Like possibly there's
a dexterity game?
Yeah, there's a natural like pace to the game, but then like a player can react to another player's decision like on the fly, and then something can happen from there. I especially think this would be funny given that it's turtles and that it has to do with tax evasion.
It's like if you move too quickly, you lose points because you're a turtle.
Yeah, exactly.
Like physically
something to do with
evading,
that.
not just tax evading.
A bag building dice roller. I mean, let's be honest, dice are sexy.
Bag building dice roller. Yeah, that sounds great.
A set collection where you're collecting tax exemptions.
Oh, write-offs. I don't think you even know what a write-off is.
So, yeah, auction bidding, but I also think that we should do sort of seduction because one person should just be a turtle doing who's actually the IRS there.
So one person's the turtle, everybody else is the IRS trying to get him busted?
No, he's the IRS trying to get everyone else.
Oh, I see. Oh, yes.
Okay, that's how you would figure that out there. And depending on how well you would affect each other person, depends on how he would dish out, or how that turtle would dish out, let's say, what is due to the other turtles.
Fantastic.
So I had a nice suggestion. So basically, if the theme of this game is, we're going between maybe love or hard cash, maybe there's 2 paths to victory. Maybe you actually pursue true love and you can get points by actually, building up your relationship. Or you can go, you know, I'm just trying to get as much tax write-offs as possible through these really expensive dates. I don't care at all about the actual people I'm wooing. I'm just trying to spend as much money as I can under the guise of it's all going to get written off on taxes. So it's like you got to choose which way you're going to go. You could go love points or tax evasion points, I guess.
I think that's especially good if the player who has the least money at the end of the game is the one who loses. So you can't win if you have
You can't buy
the
me
least
love.
money.
I like that. Okay.
Okay, next up.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you can give us one.
A countdown timer, like the deadline that the taxes are due. Like it starts at the beginning of the timer.
Deadlines?
It ticks down for each like round until it gets to 0.
Oh,
And that's
timelines are always good in the game.
That's the deadline.
Deadlines are great. All right, for the sake of time, we'll just, this one here, I'm sorry everyone, much love, but we'll just get this last one here and then we'll move on.
Yeah, going off the tax evasion theme, one mechanic I really like from competitive card games is debuffing your opponents. So I think having a debuff card on your opponent through like an audit would be really cool.
Oh, auditing, that's like the exploding kitten. It's like audit, boom. Well done. Sorry for those who couldn't get the suggestions in. Unfortunately, it is a very short time thing, and we do have a few more things to get through, including the naming process and then all that fun stuff. So the next slide.
So hold on, before we go to that, because this is going to be designed by you.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to make sure that we have agreement on what the mechanics are. So while they were all being suggested, I was taking notes, and I was taking notes based on your reactions, because even though we didn't tell you to react, there were some that got people to laugh and whatnot, and that's usually a good indicator that it has the interest of the crowd. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to read off the 3 that got the best reaction. And if you are comfortable with this game going forward with those 3, please cheer and make noise. Then after that, we'll do if there's something else you would like to see, and we'll compare the 2. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so the 3 that got the most noise were a hidden role where someone was the tax collector, debuffing your opponents by giving them an audit, and multiple paths to victory with the love versus the hard cash. And now just to give the other side, is there anyone who would like to change those mechanics? All right, we have agreement on the mechanics.
There was like 20 people that were like, no, better not. So we are now on to the business side of the designing a game. This is where we need to rein in all of the crazy fun thematic things, all of the different mechanics, because every mechanic you add will add components, cards, dice, punch boards, anything. And we now have to boil it down to a realistic price point that we can then manufacture and then turn around and sell for a reasonable amount, which is in this case your $40 to $60 price range, which means that because we're in that price range, we can only put so much in the box. We cannot do 1,000 miniatures because we just don't have the price for it. And we don't want to just put just cards because we're trying to build something a little more complicated. So, components.
All right, so the way that this typically works for us, we have the target price point for the box. We know that we're gonna have to spend money on art for the project. We know we're gonna have to spend money on printing the game at the manufacturer, so we're gonna pay for everything that goes into that box physically. We also know that we're gonna have to pay ocean freight, and probably we're gonna sell this game through distribution if it's gonna be in your local game store, which means we're actually gonna have to factor in that we're not making the entire profit margin on the game by selling it directly. There's a distributor cut in there too.
That's right.
All of those things together, and then of course, it would be nice to actually make a little bit of money ourselves for the hard work of doing the design and the development. So between all of those things together, we have some idea of what the maximum dollar value we can print the game for is, which means we then know what the maximum dollar value of stuff we can put in.
So,
prices in China or wherever it gets manufactured.
So can I share how I approach this problem?
Absolutely.
So when I start looking at the components and I start designing the game, I throw everything in there and I say, that's a Josh problem.
He's not lying.
And my job is often actually to say, no. No, you can't have that, because now the game, we have to sell this tiny box for $100. No one will buy this.
Now, I have one thing I'd like to request for this game.
Okay.
Since this is a dating sim, the art has to be, it's very important. So all these turtle characters you can date, player characters, the tax collector, they all have to be extremely hot.
Some might even say shell-shockingly hot.
Exactly. Like so hot, like you would see fan art of these characters on Twitter. Like just
Cosplay.
straight up sexy turtles. That's my one request for the components.
I'm in love. Okay.
Just wait till we get to the hand-carved wooden meeples.
Ooh.
So the part that becomes my problem is if the game's going to sell for about $40 to $60, that game probably costs manufacturing at the printer, assuming we're going to do, I don't know what, 3,000 units,
3,000 units,
something
to
like that.
5,000, yeah.
That game probably costs about $5 USD for all the actual bits that go in the box that get manufactured in China.
And that's before it even gets shipped and landed.
Correct. That's just manufacturing cost. We're going to end up paying probably another, well, it's hard to say because ocean freight keeps going up and up and up and up. And if you have paid any attention to your board game manufacturers, they've been telling you everything is delayed because
Remember when
COVID is
Settlers of
awful.
Catan cost like $45? Now it's like 70. It's crazy.
Yeah, whatever's on the shelf in your local game store now is going to be way more expensive when they replace that inventory in 6 months. So, that all being said, let's say probably about $5 for manufacturing, probably $5 or $6 for freight, and then we're wholesaling it for like maybe 15-ish.
Okay, so
something
now
in
we got to
that
figure
range?
out the components to make sure we hit that price point.
So within that $5 manufacturing budget, I would say a deck of cards is typically about 50 cents, a penny per card. Dice are like 5 cents each. Wooden cubes, a couple cents each. What the real killer is actually the cardboard box itself, without anything in it, and that's going to be $1.
Okay.
A folding game board, maybe about $1. Depends how big it is and how
As you can see, our
complicated it is.
budget is diminishing
Yeah,
shockingly
there's going to be
fast.
nothing in this box.
Yeah, it's
For
getting-
small games, you've already blown almost half of your budget on just the box.
Yeah, and that's without even having like a plastic tray or anything to hold those components, because you pay for that too.
Well, and Josh, do you want to share the point system summary, like napkin math that we do?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it is. You figure out that manufacturing cost of $5, you're going to have sort of 10 points worth of final MSRP on that. And a couple of points go to manufacturing, a couple of points go to ocean freight, distribution, all of that.
If you're not familiar with the terminology, that means for a $50 game, $5 in manufacturing is what we're targeting.
Yeah.
To be able to pay for the shipping,
Correct.
the distribution, and still actually see a little bit of profit.
And these are the kind of details that you'll get on the future shows in Twitch when we start really diving into and getting your participation on whether we should laminate the cards or whether we should do whatever we're doing, because here, and we'll give you those prices. You'll know what the costs are going to be when we get into that more collected stream conversation. But for today, we need to get more votes going, and so the next stage is... Oh! $69 price point for a hot turtle. Sim game.
So we
It's
have
getting
some
hot in
idea.
here.
We have some idea of what all the mechanics we like are, and we have ideas of what the theme is. But what we now need to figure out is how we make a game that has those mechanics and that theme on actual pieces of paper or cardboard that you're going to play with. So, like, do we have turtle meeples? Do we have like double-sided cards? Do we have?
Ooh, what do you think? What do you guys think? Let's get some suggestions. Show of hands, and I'll point. If you have an idea, I'll run up and hear you, and I'll just, for quick and for time's sake, tell me something. What do you think?
Turtle meeples shaped like the Google turtle emoji.
Turtle meeples shaped like the turtle Google emoji. Nice, nice. Put your hands. I'm going to try and get as much from each block as possible.
I'm going to go with cards because then you can showcase the
Cards. We want cards, right? Meeples?
Definitely cards,
Get some
yeah.
meeples in a
Big-
second.
big
That's a
staple.
luxury. Cards, right? Cards. A board. We need a game board. We want a game board, right? Right? What else? An audit stamp. It would be wonderful to get one, whether with a cardboard or wood or something. Let's try here. A turtle shell card sleeve. Very cool. Very easy to do with punchboard materials. Let's go here. Oh, double-sided cards. One side's the love side, the other side's the finance side, and you're going back and forth. Just for the turtle versus money. No, it's sexy turtle figurines. Hold on. An erasable whiteboard. A way to conceal things, perhaps the bag. Regular turtles with anime hair, which sexifies them wonderfully. Paper money? Paper money? That's great. Over here, yep. A checkbook? Credit cards. We should do credit cards. Build your own sexy turtle. Ooh, wooden money tokens, like little tiny money tokens. That'd be great. I'll do a few more here. A tax evasion track ticker. He loves me not. Plastic tokens for love or money. We could do like plastic coins or wooden coins or punchboard coins. That's good too. Let's get you and one more from here and then we're gonna move on. Tax forms. In the same spirit as the checkbooks. We got checkbooks, paper money, coins, tax forms. One more. You got one more here? Oh, like privatized note writing or privatized cards to give us in a dating sim. Okay, so we got some components. Some of which that you gave, all of these components are fantastic, but some of these are very expensive. And we don't expect you to know that, but this is why we're gonna help you figure it out. So, what do we got?
Okay, so running down the list very quickly because we are running down on time and we don't want to forget the last, which is also the most important thing. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to run down these very quickly. We definitely want cards, turtle meeples shaped like the Google turtle emoji, a game board with the tracks on them, an audit stamp you can stamp, hidden roll that goes inside a turtle shell card sleeve, double-sided cards with a love and a tax side, sexy turtle figurines, erasable whiteboard, a way to seal things, Lego turtles, build your own turtle, money, checkbook, wooden money tokens, tax evasion track ticker, he loves me not, plastic tokens for love or money, tax forms on different sheets, and private note writing to give like in a dating sim. That is a lot.
Okay.
I don't think I need to tell you that that's obviously not all going to fit in a $50
It's like a $120 game if we put all that stuff in there.
In fact, the figurines alone would blow that $50 box out of the market.
Plastic molds alone. If you want them to have enough plastic to be curved and however you like it, it's going to cost a lot of money. But that's a great expansion content, Kickstarter exclusive. Okay.
I think my favorites on, can I see this list here? I love the real tax forms thing. I think that's very, very funny. So then what would be on the opposite side? Like if you're gonna go the tax form route, you might—
Love letters.
Love letters, okay, yeah. Love letters, tax forms. I think like, are those a good idea to have like sheets of those or do those suck?
Well, the problem with sheets is that sheets often don't stand up well to repeated play over and over if you're shuffling them and tucking them into things.
Okay.
And we want to make a game that you're going to be able to play over and over again.
Somewhere maybe like markers and stuff?
So if it's fill in your own, then you probably want to go more towards like the laminated card.
Okay.
Or you want to do high quality card if they're just going to be ones that are already created and you're not actively creating them.
Yeah, it
There's
depends on if
different
you need
routes
to—
that we can go down.
Depends on if you need to write on them, right?
Exactly.
Because you might have just like a pad of pages and you're going to use a couple every game, and those are your forms. Or maybe you've just got, I don't know, maybe they're pre-designed, like the tax forms are, they exist already.
Number counters?
Right.
Interesting. A number tracker, yeah. So
Let
we
me
got
ask you
trackers.
this. So I know people go crazy for minis, but if we went like regular standees or something like that, but had really nice like, I don't know, turtle coins or turtle things. How much does that cost versus like the really nice minis?
So minis are always going to be more expensive
Sure.
until you get to huge numbers of production.
Okay.
Because the most expensive part about minis is going to be the molds. Because with minis, you need to create the molds. And Josh, I want to say $5,000, but I'm not sure that's right.
It totally depends on the big tool steel sheet that has to be cut like by a computer. So probably we're talking about printing 3,000 games at $5 a game. We're spending 15 grand on the entire set of games, yes?
Right.
The molds for like a single 28 millimeter miniature are going to be $5,000 a figure. So if we have 6 different figures in the game, we're spending more money on the 6 figures than the entire rest of the project outright.
Okay.
Now, one of the advantages of other things is that you can do things like metal coins and high-quality components, which use molds and forms that already exist.
Oh,
That's
okay.
And then we don't have to pay for them. And
Or it's
so-
fewer, smaller tools, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what do we got? Let's boil it down to something, and then we'll see what the crowd thinks, and then we can go to the best part. Start thinking about that one last thing we need to do, which is what we're going to name it, but don't say anything yet, okay? We're going to get to that, and I'll explain to you something cool about that when we get to it. But in the meanwhile, let's see if we can get some of our components boiled down. What did we get reactions on?
Well, so the first question, I understand the figurines are exciting, but putting those aside, the first question would be, if you could only vote for one, which one of these, outside of cards, because we're probably almost definitely going to include cards, I'm going to actually ask you, which one of those do you think is an absolute must-have?
Love letter tax forms. I think that's hilarious.
Agree? All right. So I'm going to ask a follow-up question, and I'm going to ask this out to the audience, and there's going to be 2 choices, okay? Now, I'm going to ask, do you want to be able to write your own, or do you want them provided for you? And hold on a second. Because if they are provided for you, note that we can include more of them, and they're going to be more durable. If you can write your own, we're going to have to include fewer of them, and they're not going to be as durable, but you do get to write your own. So there's pluses and minuses to both sides. So those in favor of them provided for you.
Nice.
And those in favor of write your own. Okay, I think that one's pretty clear.
Okay.
So we are providing them for you now. Excellent.
So who am I approaching to write me a bunch of love letters? Not for me, for the game.
Okay, all right, so let's get to the next part of this. We're going to go way heavy into the components on the stream actually after, but let's get to the title. So the title, it's got to be hot as we're talking about these turtles. Humor is always good, something you see on the shelf at your local gaming store and go, focused and connected to the theme. So here's how we'll do this. For the sake of speed, instead of getting you guys all to come up and down, I'm gonna do the same thing I did. I'm gonna go in reverse order and come back up here, and I'm just gonna try and get a few of you. I apologize if I miss you. We are running out of time here, so we'll start with you.
Turtles, taxes, and true love.
Turtles, taxes, and true love.
Okay.
And we'll go up here for you, yeah. Shell-shocked, a turtle dating sim. I'm gonna just take a couple from each group, right here. My dating life as a tax evading turtle. Turtles, love, comma, money, question mark. Got it. Shelling out.
Ooh.
I gotta let you know that was, I told you there was some secret behind it. Usually it's a reaction like that puts it in the top. I'm gonna keep going here.
Tempting turtles and tax evasion.
Tempting turtles and tax evasion. We'll do a couple over here. Shell and love.
I like it slow.
I like it slow. Well, I mean, sometimes, right? Okay. Sex turtle with the S as a money sign. Awesome. Is that? Okay, you're just saying whatever it is, replace the S's with dollar signs. Turbo turtle. That's like TurboTax. I like that. That was clever. Hot as shell. It's not bad, not bad, not bad. I'm gonna get one here. Tax evading sexy turtles, tax evading sexy turtles. Okay, right here. Taxing turtles. Nice. Taxing turtles. I'm gonna go one more here. Don't write me off. Not bad, not bad. Right here. Shell Company. You guys are... Shell Company. All right, we'll do one here. All is fair in love and taxes. Anything else in the front here? You've already been said?
Slow and steady and sexy.
Slow and steady and sexy. Okay, so we've got about 3 or 4 that got the crowd to go, woo. So what, 5. Oh my God, 5. Okay, let's do it.
All right, so we got 5, but hold your applause again until you hear them all. So we have I Like It Slow. We have Shell Out. We have Sex Turtles with the $sign. We have Don't Write Me Off. And we have Shell Company. So those are the 5 that we have.
Okay.
Well, I think with the $signs, we can add that to wherever there's an S.
Fair.
So that we can take the whatever the one with an S is, I think, that's at least incorporated to get us down to 4.
Okay, so we've got 4. Now,
this is where you're gonna make some noise,
this is where you're gonna make noise for the ones that you want. Or one that you want, because we're only gonna get one title. I Like It Slow. Shell Out. Don't Write Me Off. Okay. Shell Company.
Oh my God, they're so good.
What do you think?
Oh, okay. So I'm torn because I think I love a good pun. Shell Out is really good. Shell Company, though, that can go both ways. Because the company of a date, Shell Company.
Yeah, yes.
And then, just the actual Shell Company. I'm like,
all right,
that's pretty good.
All right, we're gonna do this one more time. We're narrowing it down to 2.
But wait, I think we can take one of the ones out. And it's the Don't Write Me Off can be the tagline at the bottom of the box. What do you guys think? Don't write me off. Okay. Paul, I'm efficiently narrowing this down. Oh my God. Okay.
All right, so we've got 2. Option 1, I'm gonna go over them both first. Option 1, Shell Out, Don't Write Me Off. Option 2, Shell Company, Don't Write Me Off. So, who likes Shell Out, Don't Write Me Off? Okay. Who likes Shell Company, Don't Write Me Off?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our game.
And just so we're clear, the S is a $sign, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just
All right, next
needed
slide,
to make
next
sure.
slide,
It's very,
next slide.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Very important.
Okay,
very important.
so,
Okay.
like we mentioned earlier on, this is now officially a PAX licensed product. We will be, you will be able to find this in your local gaming stores. It will be at the PAX store, either PAX Unplugged or PAX East next year, and at our Lynnvander booths at various conventions that we go to. Next slide, and the hard work begins. This is our schedule to continue this. It is a very tight schedule, so please, whip out those lovely cell phones. You can join us here on 6 Sides of Gaming, who is our partner in Stream, where we play all kinds of other stuff like D&D and board games and everything else. We will be able to go through each of these sessions with you, including you get to participate by watching us live playtest, and from there, you can join our Discord and become a playtester yourself in cool little playtester groups and get to know each other, because PAX rocks. So, special thank you to Team Lynnvander, Dylan, Josh, myself, and to our amazing special guest who really, really gave us the love today, Samwang Show. And that is 2022 PAX East Design a Board Game Live. Thank you so much. We love you all.
Thank you, everybody.
And